All right, good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night, and welcome to the Arctic Air Studios. If your air is not Arctic today, and it's really hot in West Texas, yeah, Indian summer showing up again. You need to call the Bear; they'll get you taken care of. This is, these last few days of summer are where a lot of air conditioning units puke up. You need to call the Bear if you're in trouble. They'll help you out. We're in the Arctic Air Studios. Our air moderately Arctic tonight. Glad to be with you on a Friday. It's been many years since we've been able to do Friday night shows. We're glad to be back doing that and hanging out with you. Get your Texas Tech score predictions for North Texas. Can Joey McGuire vanquish the ghost of Spike Dykes in North Texas past? Some soul-crushing losses to the Mean Green. Do you believe in the Mean Green? Do you believe in the Mean Green tomorrow, or do you believe in the Red Raiders? Give us your score predictions tonight. All of that. Most Texan thing you have done every Friday. This is important stuff, people. The most Texan thing you have done. It's important to do Texan things. So tell us tonight. Share it with your friends. Invite them on in. Let's talk about that. If you're going out to a high school football game, or maybe you're at one right now watching the show, got your earbuds in, you're listening and everything else, let us know where you are. What are you taking in tonight? All right, let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com, the website. You start there every day. Raiderland hot links. We have a blast putting them together. The coolest, freshest, hottest links from around Raiderland. Stuff you might miss, stuff we like. We figure if we like it, you're going to like it. You need to check it out. It's really cool stuff. It saves you time from scouring the web. Brought to you by, of course, Arctic Air and by our friends at South Plains College. A lot of great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. Find out what they have to offer, whether it's adult continuing education, maybe one of your kids, is looking at starting their college career that way. Maybe you want to knock out some summer school classes. Doesn't matter. Right down the road in Levelland, South Plains College, ready to go. I know they've got a joint South Plains College and Texas Tech tailgate. I believe it's this weekend. I think it is. So if you see them out there, tell them we said, hey. All the communication every day. Brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. There's one supermarket in West Texas that has their name on the basketball arena, and you see the signage. There's one that takes your money and sends it down and puts their name on stuff in Austin. Let that sink in for a minute. Boot City, one money saving mile outside the West Loop. All of our Western wear, everything you see us wear, Western wear or otherwise, brought to you by Cody Wood and everybody at Boot City. Good people. All right, let's do it. Let's get the score predictions rolling in. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? 11 o'clock kickoffs. We hate them. They're horrible. Texas Tech students do not do anything well before noon. Classes, football, basketball, or otherwise. Hideous. It is an affront to everything we hold sacred that football is played before noon. This is not a JV game in Plainview. This is a legit college football game. Should never happen before noon local time, but yet here we are. So I think that will actually contribute to, and I've seen it so many times, I just factor it in, that the first quarter, both teams just kind of stagger around, and we really don't get going until about noon. Now, how do we factor that into your thoughts on the game? Texas Tech, I believe, favored about 9.5 or so right now. Opened at 12, hammered down sub 10. Of course, we know the history against North Texas. Although Texas Tech has been able to string together 2 wins against them, there in what was it? 2000 and 2001, the early Mike Leach years. And then even Mike Leach was like, good God, don't play these people. Yet here they are again on the schedule after bedeviling Spike Dykes in 1988. My first game as a student at Texas Tech. One of my last games as a non-credentialed member of the media, watching Scotty Davis, quarterback, North Texas, to a victory against Billy Joe Tolliver, Wayne Walker, Irvin Ferris, James Gray. Then they do it again in 97. They do it again in 99. And then 2 weeks after that, Sammy Morris would show up in the backfield and say, enough of this crap. Let's beat A&M. Never play North Texas if you're Tech. How much does that matter tomorrow? I don't know. But Joey McGuire, who many people compare to Spike Dykes, wrongly in my opinion. And they do this because of the strong Texas high school football background. But Spike Dykes had as much college experience, for the most part, by the time he took the Tech head job in 1987, as he did as a high school coach. We can talk about that as we go through. Craig is the first one on Facebook. Where are my YouTube fans? Not fans of me, but just, fans of Texas Tech. Where are the YouTube people right now? You guys need to jump in, thanks to United Supermarkets. Twitter X, we get a ton of people on Twitter X. You guys got to jump in, get your conversation going. He says the talking box is on. Maybe someday maybe we'll explain why Craig says the talking box is on. But the talking box is indeed on here on a rare Friday night. And as we said earlier, if you're headed out to a high school game, let us know where you're coming in from, where you're going to, what you're doing tonight. All right. So we got that. Tailgates, it's going to be breakfast food, I assume. I don't know how many people are out there. Can you even be out there right now? When do they open up the tailgating for the 11 o'clock games now? I know for a while it was like you couldn't go overnight. I don't know if you can do that at Tech now or not. Another reason why 11 o'clock games suck, and it's bad for the fans. It's bad for everybody. It's bad if you're an out-of-town person, that you're basically kind of sitting there going, now I spend 2 nights. I don't know, we don't want you in West Texas, but you got to come in, today and probably don't go home tomorrow after the game. Maybe you do, but if you want to have any fun, you probably don't. Hate it. Jakob on X, the Tech practices in the AM routine is set unlike last week when players woke up at 4 a.m. Pacific time. Why would they wake up at 4 a.m.? Other than they were used to waking up at 4 a.m. Yeah, they practice in the morning, they practice in the afternoon, they do that. But it's still, it's totally different when you're doing a game day routine that early in the day. The other thing that's weird is the sun angle at Jones Stadium. I kid you not, it's weird. And it factors in. I'm sure, I am convinced it factors in. Truly am. So yeah, you can sit there, you can wake up all different times, you can do all that stuff, but no, you're still doing stuff at a time you're not used to doing it at 11 a.m. And our bodies, our minds, our brains are not conditioned to go full hard and 100% contact at 11 a.m. It ain't. It don't work that way. I hate it. Interested to see where some of our high school fans are going to be tonight, which games you're taking in if you're doing it. I want to know the most Texan thing you have done this week. I don't know, for me, maybe it's just gathering eggs, which means going into the coop, which means looking around going, and I talk to them. Oh, believe me, I do. I talk to the snakes. I'm like, hey, coming in. It's kind of hot. I know you might be out, coming in, going to get some eggs here. You're looking around, going, you got anything hanging down here? No, we're good. All right, I'm just going to be in here for a minute. And, then you thank them for not attacking you. Hate snakes. Absolutely hate. 100% hate snakes. So Texas Tech tomorrow, we believe, and we have every reason to believe, that Taj Brooks will be back. And as we said yesterday, the Tech offense without Taj Brooks last week looked like a grab bag of, we've got all these plays. Oh, look, wide receiver screen, throw it. Oh, what's this? Oh, Wildcat, we'll run that. What's this? Deep shot left side. Oh, no blocking. Okay. What did we do? We'll see how different it looks with Brooks back, and we believe Brooks will be back. If nothing else, I think they're at the worst case scenario. I believe Texas Tech is going to try to get him out there. Whether the arm injury, tricep, everybody say tricep with me. Whether the arm injury is completely healed or not, I think they probably feel like they got to get him out there and let him go. So if you can't get anything going with him on the field tomorrow, running the football, then we get back to this odd amalgam of I don't know what offense. Hit screens, bubble screens. 7.5 yards per. Yeah, we get it. 100%. On the other side of the ball, you have Eric Morris, the Elf, the pride of Shallowater, Texas. Dad was a great coach. He was a fine player and a very good assistant coach at Texas Tech. And he did all he could while he was at Texas Tech under Cliff Kingsbury to instill discipline, to create an atmosphere of accountability, to do all of the things that he's done as a head coach at Incarnate Word and now with the Screaming Eagles. Do you believe in the Mean Green? He's got a decent team. This is by far better than any team that's beaten Texas Tech previously in the history of the series, tied at 4 games apiece. God, that's depressing. Really? Tied at 4 games apiece. Where are your score predictions, by the way? I want score predictions. I want your thoughts. I want your game thoughts. You know, I'm here. We're here. This is our time. Let's make it work. Thanks to United Supermarkets. So this is actually a good team. Got Chandler Morris running the controls. You look at I got to go back. Pardon me. I got to look at Damon Ward. Sorry, I keep wanting to confuse his name with somebody else. He had a huge year last year, nearly 500 yards receiving. This year he's got 13 catches, 246 yards. That's 19 a catch. Kind of makes you nervous right there that they get a guy that they feel good about. And then we mentioned the quarterback. He's a smaller version of Baron Morton. And we'll get to Baron Morton here in a second. My thoughts on him after last week. So it's not a great team. But if I told you they might be better than Washington State, would you believe me? Look at their roster and look at where they got their players from. Look at where they come from. That if I tell you that, I think it's true. Reckham is on YouTube. We love the YouTube people. The YouTube people have been great this last 2 weeks, and we love you, and we ask you to share that, invite your friends in, and everything else. This isn't the first season in Tech history that we have not had a clean pocket for a Tech quarterback and was still able to take good shots downfield from several receivers over the years. Not sure exactly what that means, but yes. Robert Delgado, Tech 42, North Texas 37. You are like 2 scores above where I'm going to go. And then Reckham going Tech 56, North Texas 21. Hey, that's a score that Tech fans tomorrow afternoon when we do Raiderland Rewind, brought to you by Thacker Jewelry, a West Texas legend, creators of original jewelry and other things. When we do the show tomorrow afternoon, if it's 56-21, I think Tech fans will be pleased with that. And I hope they are. Joe says, let's go Tech, you can do it. Can they? Fake Natalie Maines is on Twitter X. When George Dunham made the phrase, do you believe in the Mean Green? So famous that it's a drop on the little ticket. Hey, everything's a drop on the little ticket. If you fart, it's a drop on the little ticket. If you hiccup, it's a drop on the little ticket. The little ticket created the drop in the mid-90s. And now everything you do, that is not in real time. Definitely not in real time. Everything you do is a drop on the little ticket. The little ticket has lost its way when it comes to drops. The producers don't know how to do it. It ceased to exist really about 2002 or 3. And the drop is abused. The drop is horrible. If you want an emergency break, we can get that in there. But I'm telling you right now, they don't know how to do the drop the way the drop was originally intended. Certainly not me in real time. I hope it's not played on Monday to open the show for the Musers, just so you know. I saw Dunham today retweeting highlights from 1999. I was there. We were at the game. I was there in 97. I was there in 88. I know. And that's all the little gentle musers have. The sad little gentle musers. Tiny hands, little muser hands. That's all they have. A couple of games here and there. And they thought Seth Luttrell was going to elevate the program. Hell, they thought Scott Bakula was going to elevate the program with Kathy Ireland in 1989. And yet they still wander around in the wilds of college football outside of any legitimate conference, hoping, praying that they get a chance like they have tomorrow. And then every time they get a win, it sustains them for like 10 years like manna from heaven. They wander in the wilderness of college football, like Moses trying to take the Israelites to the promised land, that George Dunham knows every night that he goes to bed, much like Moses, he will not be allowed to cross that River Jordan. He will die on the other side before he ever sees North Texas do anything of importance in the world of college football. And he understands it and he accepts it. And that's why he screams, "Do you believe in the mean green?" Because he knows he will be usurped of all power regarding college football in North Texas. Before the end of his life and the last breath he takes, he will whisper into the ear of somebody, "Spike Dykes, Spike Dykes." And he knows it to be true. Randy, they come from Denton, America. They could just recruit Denton County and have good talent. Guyer and Ryan are great programs. Yeah, but they don't, because they go other places and they get the leftovers. They get the meatloaf. They get the meatloaf, the sirloin and the T-bone, as a coach told me one time about North Texas, TCU, and SMU. He said they get the meatloaf. Meatloaf is good. Meatloaf is solid on a Tuesday night. You're happy to have meatloaf on a Tuesday night. But on Saturday and Sunday, you want sirloin, ribeye, and T-bone. And the sirloin and the ribeye and the T-bone goes to Lubbock and Austin and College Station. They don't go to Fort Worth, they don't go to Dallas, and they don't go to Denton. You know it to be true. Timbo, 3830 Texas Tech. Pretty close to where I'm looking at right now. Moderately close. Fake Natalie Mays, if you want to clip that last segment, put it on the internets and send it to George and the bunch. Tell them I said hi. Meanwhile, most Texan thing you have done this week. What's the most Texan thing you have done that you consider doing this week? If you're going to a high school game tonight, let us know. We got a lot of people with us. Thank you for being with us live. We love the replay people. Everybody who's with us right now, everybody watching live right now, do a thumbs up or something and say, "Hey, shout out replay people." There's no perfect time to do this broadcast. I could do it at 6 in the morning. I could do it at 6 in the evening. I could do it at noon. I could do it at midnight. We have carved out a time frame where we get the best of the news during the day. We update you. We get your reaction. And then we get the replay through the evening into the next day. And then we hit you on the website at theraiderland.com. We start it all over again. It's like a big old clock, man. Daily broadcast, morning column, 60 seconds of Raiderland. Most days, if we got something to say, we rock through there. Michael is on Facebook. Not a drug. No, he's not on Facebook. He's on YouTube. Damn it, I keep screwing that up. 3734 North Texas. Tell me why. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, if you're going to give me North Texas, other than history, tell me why you think this North Texas team is going to beat this Texas Tech team. Let's see what else. Last night, I don't know if you guys were paying attention to a Tagovailoa. I'll never tell a dude to do anything with his life, but you got $167 million guaranteed on the current contract, Tua. You've had 4 concussions in the last 5 years, I think it is. You got $167 million guaranteed. Dude, shut it down. That wasn't a hit that should give you a concussion. And what are the odds that would be freaking Damar Hamlin, who would be on the receiving end of Tua ducking his head and going in there, the man who damn near died on an NFL field 2 years ago, that he's a part of that play, and now you've got 2 out, 8 to 12 weeks minimum, that might end the career of Tua, and it's Hamlin out there. You ain't got to do it. If that hit is giving him a concussion like that, where he was clearly knocked out, my God, imagine his head being slammed into AstroTurf. Imagine him getting hit, ear hold. I don't want anybody to die on the field. I'm old enough to remember, you guys don't remember a guy named Darryl Stingley. I'm old enough to remember in the 1970s, New England Patriots wide receiver Darryl Stingley coming across the middle, Jack Tatum, nicknamed the Assassin for the Oakland Raiders. Aggie, by the way. Destroys him. Paralyzed. We kept on watching. We didn't care. I don't want to see anybody die on the field. So do what you want to do, Tua, but man, you don't got to prove anything to anybody else. All right, we got about 10 more minutes. You're just joining the show. If you're headed out to a high school game, who are you watching tonight? Who are you paying attention to? Randy, and we already did that one. Randy, I hope Michael gets help from the YouTube that he's addicted to. This is the best and beautiful sports segment in Lubbock. You're a fan of tech, but you're a realist, not afraid to tell it like it is and call a spade a spade. Thank you, Randy. That's about as kind of thing as you can say about anybody who works in the media. I appreciate that. I am a fan of Texas Tech. I want Tech to do well. But, and here's the but, I can't control any of it. There's nothing I can do or say that will make Tech do well, do bad, or otherwise. So it allows me, and I finally figured this out, about 25 years ago or so, that allows you to just say, okay, this is what it is. This is who they are at any given moment. And some people like it, and some people don't like it. Some people think the local media should be cheerleaders. I get it. I understand it. And I have played dual roles at different times doing what I do, and then doing play-by-play for Texas Tech, whether it was Lady Raider basketball, Texas Tech baseball, some small amount of work with Jack Dale and Texas Tech men's basketball. Different time. I get it. Those were different things. But there's no reason to me for any media person not to be honest with you. Ain't running it down. Ain't talking about running it down. It's just, what the hell? It's the deal. It's honesty. Now, some people think that, well, doing what I've done over the last 35 years, some people view it through a prism that think you're not being honest, that you have an agenda. I don't have an agenda. My agenda, you know what my agenda is? It's the Rush Limbaugh agenda of media. If anybody happens to know what that is and you want to put it in there, that's cool. You want to do that. I doubt you guys would. There's no reason why you would have ever paid to it. But the Rush Limbaugh theory of media. And from the mid-'90s on, I tried to apply that to what I did on the Williams and Hyatt show, on the broadcast, and everything we did. I'm trying to do it today. Wreck 'em on. Sorry, I had a big old handful of cocktail peanuts right before we went on, and that was stupid. Jack Dale years ago gave me great advice. Hey, don't drink any sodas while you're on the air, and stay away from those peanuts and popcorn. You could choke. So, of course, I had a little handful of peanuts right before I went on. I did. Don't know if I'll answer this, but do you think Jensen and Harris are becoming a little cynical? No, I don't think it's cynical. I think they're old because they're older than me. So you're old. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, John. I wouldn't call it cynical. I would call it their give a damn is broke. And they pretty much can say what they want to say at this point. And nobody's going to run them off. And these are all compliments, by the way. They don't need the job. And I'm not saying they're doing a bad job or doing anything wrong. I'm just saying that they have been around enough where it's not being cynical. It's just they feel like, I think, that they don't have to say anything they don't want to say. That doesn't mean they're sugarcoating anything before anybody runs off and tells, hey, Brian, Hyatt said this about your hey, John. No. I'm not ripping on that at all. But you get to a certain point as a broadcaster, and you just kind of do your thing. And if people like it, great. If they don't. It's not cynical. It's really not. It's not. It's a totally different deal. The fake Natalie Maines. Dale Hansen had an agenda after he got fired by Jerry. He was sour the rest of the life. Dale Hansen was sour before he got fired by Jerry, he was a reactionary bomb thrower in the 80s with WFAA. WFAA? Yeah, I think that's right. And I never had any respect for Del Hansen as a broadcaster. I think it was borne out over the years. And if Dell didn't like it, I really don't give a shit. Absolutely, they're still great at what they do. Yeah. But talking about being cynical, a lot of people confuse getting older with cynical, and it's not cynical. It's just you've seen the elephant before, so you react a little different than some people do. Robert, my dinner is from Miguel Angel's food truck, brisket tacos. Dude, you're winning tonight, Robert. By the way, Robert is a guy, for those who don't know, Robert joining us on YouTube. He is a longtime caller to not just the old Williams and Hyatt show, but Jack Dale Sports Line and multiple other shows over the decades in the Hubbleplex. I believe a proud Border Bulldog, if I'm not right. Robert, let me know, but I believe a proud Border Bulldog up in the Panhandle. And always good to see you pop up, man. One of the old G's, man. One of the old guys. Is it time for me to give my score prediction? Has Collier popped on yet? Where's Collier? He doesn't do score projections because he has to cover the game and do stuff. He thinks he's a damn journalist. And I've tried to tell him, you're not. But he thinks he's a journalist, and he doesn't do the score projections and everything else. Got a radio show now, Most mornings I think he's on. A lot of mornings. Some of the mornings he's on. But I don't know if he's there right now. But I guess I got to give mine. So, and not against my better judgment. Texas Tech is a better team than North Texas. And North Texas isn't bad. Texas Tech has better talent. This is the week that Joey McGuire really has to kind of have a backs to the wall mentality and say, in year 3, and he's got to look at his coaches. He's got to look at his coaches this week because most of them have been together, other than his offensive line coach and a couple others, but most of them have been together now and say, we've had the opportunity through the transfer portal to overturn this roster. It's not like it was 10, 15, 20 years ago where you had to wait till year 4 till you really had your people in. Damn near everybody playing out there on the field is somebody you said, I want on my team. I brought them in. We're going to go. So year 3 is no longer year 3 in the old days of college football. It's 4, it's 5. That you've got to show some productivity. That you've got to look better than you've looked. The things that have bedeviled them for the most part, particularly offensively, have not been talent related. It's been discipline related in that we're talking about pre-snap penalties. We're talking about screw ups. And I know you've had to shuffle a lot of offensive linemen in, but the problem with offensive linemen, it's not about the snap count when you shuffle them in. They can hear the snap count. It's protection coverage, it's calls, it's scheme, it's blocking. Get the snap off without having a penalty. And then we'll judge what you do after that. But these players you brought in, they're your players. Yeah, you brought in a lot of different ones. Well, okay, that's the name of the game right now, isn't it? That everybody around college football, and why I said yesterday that one of the problems I think with the transfer portal and why it's creating upsets, it's spreading some talent around, but it also makes it hard early on in the season to have continuity because you're working in. If I'm getting old and staying old every year, if I'm bringing in transfers that are going to start 7, 8, 9, 10 guys, both sides of the ball, well, I've got a few weeks to get them ready, as opposed to the old days where I had a few years to get you ready to start. That creates ragged play. That creates upsets. That creates problems. I understand all of that right now. But for Texas Tech and Joey McGuire in year 3, this is a back against the wall kind of game. You're at home. You've got great fan support. You're selling out games. Read Don Williams' column today about how everybody who said, I'm never going to watch another game because of NIL and they're pros and I'm not going to do it. And you're selling out games all the time. So you got to go win this. If you don't, the seat doesn't just go from warm, it goes from scalding hot the rest of the way. If you don't win this game, if you're Joey McGuire and this coaching staff, you deserve everything that's going to come down on you tomorrow on Raiderland Rewind and on all the other shows and everything else. Because that's the reality you have chose to live in by being a coach in 2024. You don't like it? Go sell insurance. You don't like it? Go back to Cedar Hill. You don't like it? Do something else. But if you want to be in college football today, this is the reality you live in. You've got to be good in year 3. And if you're at Texas Tech, that means you've got to beat North Texas. Started me at 6:40. Oh, were we on a radio station at 6:40? I don't know. I reckon which DC has a better setup out at DeRuyter, Patterson, Gibbs. I really like DeRuyter's defense. I truly do. He's a great coach, in my opinion, a great defensive mind. I like the odds stack. I like how he works it. I like how he blends in fronts, and he has proven that he can coach a defense and improve a defense and do it at schools that are at the level of Texas Tech. He's got a track record. I've seen it work. What we're seeing right now, the disconnect, and I know you've got 4 edge guys that are gone. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to make a little bit of excuse on that. You got 4 edge guys that are gone on defense, but you still have to achieve. You still got to do it. You still got to be better than North Texas, even with 4 edge guys gone. But I do, and nothing against Patterson and Gibbs, but I do. DeRuyter, I think, is a high-level defensive mind. I like his concepts. I like what he does to get linebackers involved in today's game, which we've seen evolve over the last 10 years offensively. And we can go to stop an RPO and different things and whatever. But I really like what he does. And I used to be I was a total 4-4 guy, 100%. I was a total even front kind of guy. Gap control, even front, and we work from there. 43, 44, whatever you want to do. You can run a bandit up. You can run a robber up. We can get in nickel. We can get it. But now, as you've got guys that are 230 and 240 pounds playing outside linebacker and running, now I understand the odds stack, and I get it. I'm kind of changing on that. You gotta adapt to the personnel. Worded that wrong. Which one was given more of a warm bed? None of them really. I'd say none of them for the most part. DeRuyter, maybe, that he came in and Wells had, I think, Wells with Patterson had elevated, I think, a little bit on the defensive side. So if you want to say none of them came into a great situation, but definitely DeRuyter, if you want to apply that metric, I think came into a better situation than what Patterson did and what Gibbs did. And that's okay. It's hard, on the questions and everything else sometimes to get that done. Yeah, I do like what DeRuyter does and how he moves that front around. And that was like, I was, football geeking out last week on watching Washington State, knowing that DeRuyter was going to go with that odd man front in a light box and how they spread the field and said, we're gonna gash you until you do something. It was a real cool chess match. You got to be good enough to do it, and Mateer was good enough to do it that night. So, one of those, it's a little inside football thing, and I enjoy that now as much as I do sometimes the outcome, and I watch it from a different angle that I know a lot of you guys do, and I don't apologize for that. That's just kind of where I am and how I watch football and sports and different things now. All right, 38-35, Texas Tech. Not against my better judgment, But I do believe that this is a game that you'll stagger around for about a quarter both sides. Second quarter will pick up. It'll be kind of ugly. They'll go in, have a quick banana, some Uncrustables, take a couple of IVs. Oh, yeah, there'll be IVs tomorrow at halftime. It's going to be hot. It's going to be freaking hot. You guys need to, by the way, be hydrating tonight, getting ready for the game tomorrow. Texas Tech, I don't know that they'll ever completely control the game, but I think they'll win the game, 38-35. And depending on how they do it, you guys will either be pleased with the outcome, or I'll be sitting here tomorrow afternoon doing Raiderland Rewind live with you guys about 45 minutes after the game ends, and y'all are going to be going just like ACU. They won, but that's really what Tech needs to do tomorrow, is take the butt out of the win. What? Take the butt out of the win? Yeah, take the butt out of the win tomorrow. Just say, yeah, they won. And they look better, and they did it. You guys, be well. Want you to share this, put it on Facebook and Twitter and wherever else. We will archive this at theraiderland.com. Thank our great sponsors like Arctic Air, like South Plains College. Remember, a lot of great Red Raiders started out as great Texans over there in Levelland. Of course, United Supermarkets, all of the communication. And then Boot City, 1 money, 7 mile outside the West Loop. Replay people, we love you. We wish we could do it at a time when everybody could be here live, but we know we can't do that. So a lot of fun. We'll see you tomorrow, theraiderland.com.